All right, Rishi, I want to talk about an interesting conversation I overheard maybe like 6 10 months ago. I was in a taxi here in London,
Hmm.
and the taxi driver, was talking on the phone. He had like the speaker on. I'm not sure why he didn't have AirPods and so on, but he was talking to, I think, a physiotherapy center. I'm not sure, because when I got into the car, he was already on the phone. And basically he was talking about how he has been suffering pain in his shoulder for a very long time, maybe like a couple of months and so on. And when I got in the car, they were already talking, and one of the questions that the other person on the other side of the line from the physiotherapy center asked was, "Well, let me ask you, what have you tried so far in order to get rid of that pain, right?" And the guy started to actually list down a bunch of things that he's tried in order to feel better and not have the pain anymore, right? And I actually wrote them down. He said that he tried to stretch much more than he used to do it before, right? To get rid of it. He said that he bought a massage gun. Have you seen those massage
Hmm.
guns? They're all over Amazon. Got targeted at on Facebook all the time. I've seen even that the gym now they have it. It's like a massage gun that you can basically massage
Micro
a part of.
pulses, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think you had a client in this place as well,
No,
no?
no, no, no. But I would love to have Theragun as
Yeah.
a client, which is the big, yeah, yeah. But I've seen those.
Another one that this guy mentioned was Tiger Balm. He tried to basically like apply Tiger Balm on the shoulder to get
Yeah,
rid of the pain. Then he said, "Oh, he went to get a massage at massage center, right?" And then the other couple of things that he said is like, "Oh, I also started to do hot baths to see if maybe with that, that kind of like alternative solution the pain would go away." And then finally, which I thought it was like, oh, I didn't even know it existed. He said that he bought an electrical nerve stimulation, which I had to look it up. I had
oh,
no idea.
sure.
Like, yeah. So I
This
want.
is a client that I have worked with, so I know this product.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So the reason I'm bringing this story up is because you know, as soon as actually as soon as I got out of the taxi, I was like, oh my god, what did I just like listen to, right? Like, because again, I was wearing the normal hat of somebody that is in the taxi and overhearing a conversation, right? And then somehow my brain switched completely, right? And I went from, consumer hat to marketer's hat. And I said, oh my God, this guy, the taxi driver, just told us out loud all the different solutions, right? That he hired, talking about the jobs to be done language, in order to get rid of that pain, that shoulder pain that he had, right? He never mentioned any brand of massage guns. He never mentioned about any brand around, the what are the other, the Tiger Bombs, right? So for him, all these different alternative solutions were actually competing with each other in order to get the job done, which was getting rid of the pain. So I want to say this because in the customer's mind, the alternative solution to solve a problem very often are not part of the same category of solutions. What do you think about this?
Yeah, that's 100% true. 100% true. And it's funny because as you're telling the story, I'm thinking about from the perspective of the copywriter. If I can make the buyer feel, who has gone like your this driver that you experience, if I can recount for them the all the different kind of alternatives that were unsuccessful, I'm actually deeply empathizing with them, because by telling them about that, I'm in a way forcing them to experience the dissatisfaction of putting Tiger Balm, feeling optimistic about it and realizing that it didn't work, and then having to try something else. and we're all looking for shortcuts in life. And so I think that empathy will be really, really effective. The other thing, and again, I'm just putting on my copywriter hat, but the other thing I was thinking about was even people that have not gone through those alternatives, hearing a story about people that have gone through those alternatives evokes the same mirror neurons in your brain. Human beings are highly empathetic, and it just makes you feel the frustration of like, oh my God, like I don't want to go through this. And it makes your solution, which is, it's almost like I look at it like a ladder system, and you're kind of showing like on the 50th ladder is my product. And people are like, okay, well, I don't want to go through 49 steps to get there, right? So that's how I was looking at it.
And it's interesting because you plant doubts in the, maybe as you said, they have not tried it, but maybe they thought about it because maybe they overheard it from somebody else, or somebody else gave them that suggestion, or they Googled it, or I don't know, like they try. So maybe they haven't tried it, but they considered it, or they're still considering it, right? So you're what you're doing is you're putting even more doubts into their mind, right?
And I want to add something here, Lorenzo. This potentially is going to be a separate episode in the future, but since I like to use examples to make a point. I can see a lot of marketers listening to what we're saying right now and saying, wait a minute, the copy space that I had was like 4 sentences for my description. I'm listening to you guys talk, and it's like, how the hell do I fit this whole thing into 4 sentences? So first of all, we need to kind of break free from this whole idea. The length of your copy needs to be what is appropriate to close the damn sale. You just have to get away from that. The point I want to make over here, though, a broader point over here, is that you have to elevate at the top of the sales pitch, elevate the temperature, and help increase the stakes for the shopper. Because remember, this guy who has experienced all of these alternatives and not worked, for him, this is a big deal. This is not a trivial, I want to be convinced in 2 minutes kind of proposition. He's already invested 6 months of his life probably to solve it. So you need to increase the temperature and say, hey, Mr. Guy, what we're about to share with you, we could not have reduced to 4 sentences. Can you please spend time and read it? If you increase the temperature that way, people actually will read it. So I think for the copywriter, the most important thing is to make sure that the people who you are targeting actually have been conditioned to read your sales page. I just wanted to, this is a side point I wanted to make, because I think just having more copy and slapping it on the page, actually you'll notice no lift in conversion rates, and then you'll be like, oh, Rishi, Lorenzo, your idea doesn't work. No. You need to create an environment for the buyer and increase. When I go to my heart surgeon, I'm not telling the heart surgeon like, dude, please tell me in 2 minutes what's going on, I have to leave. The environment is set for me to like sit there for 45 minutes, and the doctor wants me to be there 45 minutes.
I love this concept of increasing the temperature. I actually think we should do an episode where you give examples, like practical examples of how you go about, going from like temperature 50 to temperature 70 to temperature, like 100 to 120, to see how different these different temperatures are. So people truly grasp and understand what you mean with that, with examples.
Awesome. No, we will do that. But yeah, this is really useful. I don't know if you want to add more, Lorenzo, to your
that was yeah. I just thought it was interesting because oftentimes when I ask clients in general, when I ask people, oh, who do you compete with? They mention a bunch of companies in the same category, but they don't think that competition is also people in other companies.
Well, and just to add to this, non-consumption is also a competing category. Yep. So you might want to add copy that says, you could choose to continue suffering for another 5 years, and just leave it. This is known as implied marketing. Don't end it by saying that, but don't do that. Just buy a product, because then but you can just end it there, and the person will actually feel the pain of 5 years of suffering. And I think we have to recognize non-consumption is actually oftentimes the biggest competitor. But this is wonderful. Thank you for sharing this.
Ciao.